The sun was setting over the glass towers of Manhattan, casting golden rays through the penthouse windows of Alexander Roth. A billionaire known for his ruthless business tactics, icy demeanor, and complete detachment from anyone below his status. His mansion in the sky was a fortress of Silence gold marble, endless halls, high-tech security, and not a single sign of life except for the soft sound of heels clicking on the floors, or the occasional murmur of staff obeying orders. But on that quiet Tuesday evening, something happened that no one expected. Amara was new to the job, a 22-year-old immigrant from a small town in the Philippines. She had taken up the housekeeping position through an agency. Her eyes were large and hopeful, and though her English was still broken, her work ethic spoke louder than words. She sent half her salary back home to her younger siblings, who depended on her. The job was grueling, especially in Roth's penthouse. Every surface had to gleam, every fabric crisp-free, and every room immaculate Tevin, the Williams never used. The billionaire was rarely home during the day, but his rules were unbreakable. The bedroom was especially sacred. His bed was never to be sat upon, touched unnecessarily, or cleaned while he was inside the apartment. That day, Amara had been up since 4 a.m., scrubbing, vacuuming, folding, and organizing. The penthouse had 7 bathrooms. She cleaned every one. After her quick lunch, just a banana and water, she took a deep breath and began the last task, dusting the master bedroom. The bed looked like a Clouda king-size behemoth with imported Egyptian sheets and a scent of cedarwood and fresh linen. The curtains flowed like silk rivers in the wind, and for a second, the whole place felt less like a prison and more like heaven. Her hands were cracked. She stared at the mattress and thought, just for a moment, just to rest my eyes. Amara sat at the edge, then slowly lay down, one hand still holding the duster. The softness consumed her, and within moments, she was asleep. She didn't hear the elevator ding-dot. She didn't hear the click of the Italian leather shoes on the marble floor. And she certainly didn't hear Alexander Roth step into his bedroom, drop his phone, and stand there. Stunned, there she was, a maid, asleep on his bed. His first instinct was to rage, to fire her on the spot. Security should have been called, but something about the scene made him stop. She looked so young, so exhausted. Her face was peaceful, her brow still furrowed from weeks, maybe months, of stress. Her hands were curled, still clinging to the duster like a soldier with his last weapon. He didn't move for several seconds. Then slowly, he stepped closer and saw her shoes. They were worn, soles almost gone. Her uniform was patched in places. Most people wouldn't notice, but he did. He realized he had never looked at any of his maids before. Not really. Instead of yelling, he walked over to the wardrobe and took out one of his softest blankets. He gently draped it over her shoulders. Then, unbelievably, he pulled out his phone not to call security, but to tell his assistant to cancel all his evening meetings. He sat down in the armchair across the room. For over an hour, he just watched, not in a creepy way, but curiously. Something inside him shifted, something he hadn't felt since his mother died when he was a teenager. A kind of forgotten softness. Amara stirred awake with a gasp. She jumped to her feet in horror when she saw him sitting there. The blanket fell to the ground, and Mr. Rothai Saraim. So sorry, I was just resting. I didn't mean to. Please don't fire me, she stammered, her voice cracking with panic. She bent to pick up the blanket, but he gently stopped her. You were tired, he said, his voice quiet. When was your last day off? She stared at him, confused. I don't remember. Sir? He nodded slowly. Then something happened that shocked not just Amara, but the entire staff when they heard of it later. He smiled. Go downstairs. Eat something warm. Take tomorrow off. Actually, take the week. Full pay, and tell HR you're getting a raise. Double. She couldn't believe what she was hearing, sir. He stood, walked past her, and paused only to say, everyone deserves to rest, even angels in uniforms. The next morning, every employee in the Roth building received a memo. All staff are entitled to 1 mandatory rest day per week. Wages will remain unchanged. HR to evaluate workload and mental health accommodations. But what truly stunned them all was what followed. 2 weeks later, Amara was invited to Roth's private office. He told her he had read her application again. that he saw she had once been a nursing student before dropping out due to family debts. He handed her an envelope. Inside was a full scholarship offer, paid by him. "For when you're ready to go back," he said. "You don't belong cleaning floors." Tears streamed down Amara's face. Word spread quickly. The cold-hearted billionaire had a soul, after all, and all it took to melt his frozen heart was a maid who fell asleep on his bed, and the world would never see Alexander Roth the same way again.